Happy Sabbath, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Well, we're just gonna get into it because that's what we do here. Let's get the board since you guys can't see it. Look, y'all, this stuff from here, this don't change, right? This is the pillars of the community. Core values don't change, right? That's one thing that don't change, right? Like wheels on the bus, right? But here's the quotes of the day, right? We have, make no law whatever concerning speech, and speech will be free. So soon you make a declaration on paper that speech will be free, you will have 100 lawyers proving that freedom does not mean abuse and liberty license, and they will define it out of existence. Voltaire declare. One of the greatest blessings we enjoy, one of the greatest blessings a people, my lords, can enjoy, is liberty. But every good in life has its alloy with evil. Licentiousness is the alloy of liberty. It's an evolution of excrescence. I said those wrong. That's why you're going to have to Google this one up so you can remember it. It is a speck upon the eye of the political body, which I can never touch, but with a gentle trembling hand, lest I injure the eye upon which it is apt to appear. Philip Stanhope, the 4th Earl of Chesterfield. Dictators ride to and fro upon the tigers, which they dare not dismount. And the tigers are getting hungry. Big hungry. That's good old Winston Churchill. We all know who that is, right? Put that right over there. And look. We're all inclusive here. We're going to reach every level, everybody else. This therapeuticness, we understand that. If you can't get the solace and stuff from, and the joy from the modern world, the great literacy of the Western civilization, that's okay. I understand that. Okay? That's why we have these. Okay? I don't think you've ever read that one. Huh? By a great doctor, Dr. Seuss. Everybody know who that is. But we got all kinds of them. See? All kinds. Okay? I might even read this one soon. I'm pretty sure that one none of y'all have heard. Okay? Told you. All inclusive, y'all. All inclusive. Love everybody. Alright? So, look, I think I have time to get not the 3 of them. I think we do. So, this one is by W.H. Auden. It's September 1st, 1939. And if you guys don't think this is relevant, this was a year or give or take before Nancy Pelosi, Fancy Nancy, was born. So if y'all think she's relevant and still could be Speaker of the House to speak about, the future age of today's generation, then y'all gotta find this one relevant, huh? And if not, tell me why not. Tell me why not. Alright. I sit in one of the dives on 52nd Street, uncertain and afraid, as the clever hopes expire of a low, dishonest decade. Waves of anger and fear circulate over the bright and darkened lands of the earth, obsessing our private lives. The unmentionable odor of death offends the September night. Accurate scholarship can unearth the whole offense from Luther until now that has driven a culture mad. From what occurred at Linz, what huge imago made a psychopathic god. I and the public know what all school children learn. Those whom evil is done do evil in return. Exile Thucydides knew that all that a speech can say about democracy and what dictators do, the elderly rubbish they talk to an apathetic grave, the enlightenment driven away, the habit-forming pain, mismanagement and grief, we must suffer them all again. into this neutral air, where the blind skyscrapers use their full height to proclaim the strength of collective man. Each language pours its vain competitive excuse, but who can live for long in an euphoric dream? Out of the mirror they stare, imperialism's face and the international wrong. Face along the bar, cling to the average day, the lights must never go out. The music must always play. All the conventions conspire to make this fort assume the furniture of home, lest we should see where we are, lost in 100 wood, children afraid of the night, who have never been happy or good. The windiest militant trash, important person shout, is not so crude as our wish. What Mad Nijinsky wrote about Diaghilev is true of the normal heart, for the error bred in the bone of each woman and each man craves what it cannot have, but not universal love, but to be loved alone. From the conservative dark into the ethical life, the dense commuters come, repeating their morning vow, I will be true to the wife. I'll concentrate more on my work, and helpless governors wake to resume their compulsory game. Who can release them now? Who can reach the deaf? Who can speak for the dumb? All I have is a voice to undo the folded lie, this romantic lie on the brain of the sensual man in the street, and the lie of authority, whose building groped the sky. There is no such thing as the state, and no one exists alone. Hunger allows no choice to the citizen or the police. We must love one another or die. Defenseless under the night, our rolled in stupor lies, yet dotted everywhere, ironic points of light. Flash out whatever the just exchange, the message, may I compose like them, of arrows and dust. Beleaguered by the same negotiation and despair, show an affirming flame. Then we have Nuns by the same author. What we know to be not possible through time after time, foretold by wild hermits, by shaman and sibyl, gibbering in their trance, or revealed to a child in some chance rhyme, like will and kill, come to pass. Before we realize it, we are surprised at the ease of speed of our deed, and uneasy it is barely 3 mid-afternoon, yet the blood of our sacrifice is already dry on the grass. We are not prepared for the silence so sudden and so soon. The day is too hot, too bright, too still, too ever. The dead remains to nothing. What shall we do till nightfall? The wind has dropped, and we have lost our public. The faceless many who always collect when any world is to be wrecked, blown up, burnt down, cracked open, felled, sawed in two, hacked through, torn apart, have all melted away. Not one of these who in the shade of walls and trees lie sprawled now, calmly sleeping, harmless as sheep, can remember why he shouted, or what about, so loudly in the sunlight this morning. All if changed would reply, it was a monster with one red eye, a crowd that saw him die, not I. The hangman has gone to wash, the soldiers to eat. We are left alone with our feet. The Madonna with a green woodpecker, the Madonna of the fig tree, the Madonna beside the yellow dam, turn their kind faces from us and our projects under construction. Look only in one direction. Fix their gaze on our completed work. Pile driver, concrete mixer, crane and pickaxe wait to be used again. But how can we repeat this? Outliving our act we stand, where we are, as disregarded as some. Discarded artifact of our own, like torn gloves, rustled kettles, abandoned bridge lines, worn lopsided grindstones buried in nettles. This mutilated flesh, our victim explains too nakedly too well, the spell of the asparagus garden, the aim of our chalk pit game stamps. Birds' eggs are not the same. Behind the wonder, behind the rapture of the spiral stare, we shall always now be aware of the deed into which they lead, under the mock chase and mock capture, the racing, tussling, and splashing, the painting and the laughter. Be listening for the cry and stillness to follow after, wherever the sun shines, brook run, books are written. There will also be this death. Soon, cool Trantamania will stir the leaves. The shops will reopen at 4. The empty blue bus and the empty pink square. Fill up and drive off. We have time to misrepresent. Excuse, deny. Mystify. Use this event while under a hotel bed in prison. Down wrong turnings. Its meanings waits for our lives sooner than we would choose. Bread will melt, water will burn, and the great quail begin. Abandoned. Set up this triple gallows. At our 7 gates, Fabilal make our wives waltz naked. Meanwhile, it would be best to go home, if we have a home, if any case good to rest. That our dreaming wills may seem to escape this dead calm, wander instead. On knife's edges, on blacks and white squares, across moss bays, velvet boards, over cracks and hillocks and mazes, of string and pendant cones, down granite ramps and damp passages, through gates that will not relatch, and doors marked private, pursued by Moors and watched by Latin robbers, to hostile village at the heads of fjords, to dark chateaus where wind sobs and the pine trees and telephones ring, inviting trouble to a room, lit by one weak bulb where our double sits, writing and does not look up. That while we are thus away our own wronged flesh, may work undisturbed, restoring the order we try to destroy, the rhythm we spoil out of spite. Valves close and are open exactly, the glands secrete, vessels contract and expand at the right moment, essential fluids flow to renew exhausted cells, not knowing quite what has happened, but awed by death like all the creatures, now watching this spot like the hawk looking down without blinking, the smug hens passing close by their pecking order, the bug whose view is bulked by grass, or the deer who shyly from afar peer through chinks in the forest. You like that? That's pretty good, huh? I'll leave you with the good one, the hummingbird. D.H. Lawrence, Hummingbird. I can imagine in some other world, primordial dumb far back, and that awful stillness that only grasped and hummed, hummingbirds raced down the avenues before anything had a soul, while life was a heave of matter, half inanimate. This little bit chipped off in brilliance and went whizzing through the slow vast succulent stems. I believe there were no flowers then. In a world where the hummingbird flashed ahead of creation, I believe he pierced through the slow vegetable veins with his long beak. Probably he was big. As mosses and little lizards, they say, were once big, probably he was a jabbering, terrifying monster. We look at him, though, the wrong end of the long telescope of time. Luckily for us. I think that's a good one. Alright? I'm going to have another video with some articles and stuff to do for today. I love you. Remember, same bad time, same bad channel, and remember, spread love, peace, and harmony.